fetch data from API in JavaScript. So this is JSON placeholder website / users route. Here if we make get request to this route, we get 10 users in JSON format. Okay, so I will copy this URL and I will go to my folder, basically wherever my project is, and I will create temporary file for now, index.html and sample file. So fetch data in JS via API. Okay, so let's open this in live server so we can edit and look at it at the same time. Okay, so let's say I add here something with h1 tag, fetch data, and save. It reflects here immediately. Okay, so if you don't have live server, you can just double click on it on the file index.html inside JS fetch, or just go to extension and type live server. Yep, that is a very easy step, right? Live server, this one. Okay, so you can edit and view the changes at the same time. Okay, now let's write some code. Let's say we want to show this on load only. When I load, it will show the data. So how you will do that? So let's just create a script tag, and then I will define first my URL, fetch URL. This is my fetch API URL, basically. Here we get the data, right? This data. Then the syntax is fetch and then URL. Okay, and in here what do we need to write is, okay, so fetch URL dot then response, then convert that to JS object, then we get the JSON data, right? That's why we use .json, and then after that another result, converted data. So here we will write function for that. So here for now we will just print the data. So now if I open the console log, I should see the data here. Okay, you don't need to call the function, you can directly, otherwise we will need to call this function, so that's why I removed the function definition. Yeah, okay, see, you can like see the data here, the printed in console. So for the sake of simplicity, what we will do, we will print the ID and name only, or maybe email for now. Yeah, ID, name and email. So here I got the data. Let's look at the format once again. It is in the array and then object structure. Okay, so what we will do, first we need to define the HTML structure division. Let's say ID of users we defined, then in here we will refer that users div equal to document dot get element by ID and users, let's use semicolon, best practices. Okay, then users div dot append child, but what we are going to append, let's append p, p, but what is p? So for that we need to create p first, right? Let p equal to document dot create element. We will create p tag, and inside each p tag we will add our results user data. Okay, so p dot but before that we need to for loop through the array, right? Okay, let me write it by step, so it will be less confusing, I guess. Okay, so we get the users data, right? It is in array format. So what we need to do, we need to write for loop so we can iterate through each object entry. So here is basically object, right? So I just renamed it for the so you can understand, right? Object. So what do we need to do for each object? We need to create the entry. So document.create element. So for each entry we will create p element, and inside that p dot inner text we will write the data of object. So what is data inside the object? We just saw that like object dot so in here also we can go back and reference object dot id, object dot email for now. Okay, object dot id plus object dot email. Okay, so we will show it like this. Okay, so now you created p tag for each object entry, but you also need to append that to existing division, right? Which is this basically. So here we will do user dot append child and our created p tag. Now if I save this and let's go here, see you can say like if I refresh, I get the data from API and it shows up on DOM. If I inspect on element, right, it shows like p tag is created for each entry. And if I go to network tab and fetch request and refresh again, you can see like we made the get request to this API URL, then in response we got the data. Here you can see like all the data, and from the data we for now we printed like ID and email. So ID and email. So here is the code for that to fetch the users from the API.